Hi, I'm Essex County Executive Joe DiVincenzo. Welcome to this edition of Inside Essex County. We really have some outstanding students in our Essex County vocational schools. And our first segment was done by the students at the Essex County West Caldwell Tech. Recently, U.S. Secretary of Education Arne Duncan visited Essex County West Caldwell Tech to hear from parents, students, teachers, and staff about the changes that help improve the students' performance and transform West Caldwell Tech into a national blue ribbon school. West Caldwell is the second school in our district to earn the blue ribbon designation. Bloomfield Tech was the first in 2009. In addition, each of our 4 high schools received bronze medals from the U.S. News and World Reports for being named among the best high schools in the nation. Let's take a look on how the visit went.
With high expectation, the climate and culture. And if you look around right here, above that door, you will see 100, 100. That's my expectation. Every student should pass in math, language arts. You look over here, I have Eagle Pride, every day, every way. So I'm talking about high expectation. I'm talking about my students excel. I'm talking about dedication from my teachers. And that's how we do get student improvement.
When I first started here in 2009, we didn't have these goals, the 100, 100 over the doors. And so I started seeing these numbers showing up 70, 70. I'm like, what is this? And then it got higher next year, 80, 80. And it just kept growing every year, and we came accustomed to it. When we saw the 100, 100 in last year's, I was like, this is never going to happen. And it happened. We constantly improved, and the students really took off with it.
I teach language arts, and I do teach a combination of special education students and non-special education students, and I think that one of the things that I feel that helped raise the expectation of the school was closing the achievement gap between the students, because it was always my opinion that whether they were special education or not special education, they should be receiving a rigorous curriculum from their teacher, and their teacher should guide them through that curriculum, however slow-paced it may be.
The SIG grant, it helped us have the world in our hands. We went home and we could open up the laptop and do our homework and research things that we can't. Like some students aren't as don't have some students don't have laptops, some students don't have computers at home, and now they do. And the teachers are more there's more time in the classroom because we have the smart boards. It's been very helpful, and it's helped us mature into young individuals, and we're prepared for the fast-paced world out there.
I believe that the grant has not only exceeded my expectations, but also my fellow classmates, and that I mean that intern high school, we were not all expecting to be as far as we are now, but now we can go into the future and be fellow adults with all the other adults out there and enter and go into any college and know that we can be the best, and also as other people go into the careers that we want to be in and be the future.
Just a couple of lessons you guys talked about. Talent matters tremendously. Great principals, great teachers, great support staff, continuing to learn and grow. I loved how you talked about your expectations kept going up for yourself. No one was self-satisfied, no one got complacent. And great teachers and great principals make a huge difference in students' lives. Time, more time. I got to take you on the road with me. When I talk about longer days, or I talk about ending the agrarian-based school system, usually kids throw tomatoes at me. Adults cheer. Kids don't like it. But if other countries, if they're going to school 30 more days, 40 more days, 50 more days, if they're going more hours, they're not smarter, more committed than we are. They're just working harder. They're just having greater opportunity. More time in the summer, more time after school makes a lot of sense. Technology, that should frankly be a given in this country. Every child should have access to technology. And I think technology can be this amazing equalizer, But if it's not, we actually increase the divide. We increase the divide between the haves and the have-nots if only the affluent have access. And our kids can learn anytime, anywhere, any place, about anything, 24/7. And if we're limiting them, that's not the decision other countries are making. So you guys took common sense but difficult things. I love sort of your approach each year. You grew it, didn't try to do it all at once, thought about, I'm sure you made mid-course corrections, but putting all those pieces together, no one easy answer, pretty remarkable to see what's happening for young people.
So a couple of things. First of all, while we are thrilled to provide the grant, all the hard work has come from you guys. And so we're a small part of the success story. Students' hard work, teachers' high expectations, principal leadership, parents stepping up, the community engagement. We're a minor player here. And I'm just so thrilled with what this community has done to take performance and achievement to an entirely different level in a pretty short amount of time. It's remarkable to see. So I fully expect all those things to continue. One thing the president announced today was an additional $100 million to put behind high schools that are thinking very creatively around vocational education. Education to careers was obviously a big focus here. So I actively want you guys to pursue that. And the other bigger thing I would ask is that, and we talked about it earlier, is that we just need more leaders to understand that education is an investment and not an expense.
Our students are extremely talented, and we are proud to highlight their achievements. The amazing turnaround we have seen at West Colwell Tech would have not have been possible without the state and federal funding we received and the dedication of all the staff, students, and parents at the school. There's no question in Essex County for the past 12 years, our budget has been our priority. We always want to make sure that our fiscal house is in order, and the administration can't do it alone. We have to have a strong freeholder board, in which we have with freeholder President Blondie Watts and freeholder Seabolt and an entire freeholder board. But we have to work with our department directors, and we also have to work with our constitutional officers. And I have to say, for the past 12 years, from where we were into where we are today, is night and day. But we have someone joining us today for the past 2.5 years, and he comes from Monmouth County. He has done an excellent job in working collectively with not only with myself, with everyone, and really has moved this county forward. And that's our guest today is Mark Akron. I want to thank you for being here, thank you for all the work that you've done in the last 2 years, and continue us on that path. For our bond rating since 2003 until today, from junk bonds and we go up about 6 or 7 times, we're moving in the right directions. And we went through some bumpy times with the economy and stuff, but we were able to move forward with it. So
you've done a real good job with it. That's clear.
Well, it's not been myself. It's been a team, and we follow your lead and we follow your direction. And why don't we talk a little bit about this year's budget and the last 3 years? Between the governor and the president of the Senate and also the speaker, there was a cap, which I supported wholeheartedly. It was a 2% cap, and I also supported the interest arbitration to 2%. And we also had some pension and health benefits reforms, which I know that's the focus of all budgets, and those changes needed to be done. In the last 3 years, that's what we followed.
Yeah, those changes were necessary, and they're extremely helpful, Joe. But going forward, it's going to be the same issue that we've been dealing with the last several years. You've got the usual suspects as far as expenditure issues, salaries, pensions, which you mentioned, health benefits. And of course, the problem on the other side is not enough flexibility on revenues. So revenues always chasing greater expenditures is going to be an issue, and it's going to be a continuing issue as we go forward.
But that's one of the things that I think that we've done well. I think we've run this county like a business. And when taken over, we went from 4,200 employees down to 3,500, and we've been able to maintain that. And the thing about it, Mark, prior to you coming on, in 2003, we were able to generate a $54 million surplus. And then what happened in 2007, the bottom dropped out, and we had to use that entire $54 million in 2007 and 2008 just to keep, to be able to keep county government moving, but also to make sure we only increase taxes minimum.
That's good that you had it. Fund balance, having a nice fund balance, which is a good rainy day policy, helps towards the ratings from the rating agencies. We've increased fund balance by $22 million over the last 2 years. We only use a small portion as revenue in the budget. From a financial point of view, we're positioned pretty well.
The other thing is, one of the things that we've done ever since 2003, we had 4 federal consent orders that I talk about. One was the jail, all right, which, we had to finish building a jail and get off the federal consent order, and now, of course, it's generating huge sums of money for us.
41 million.
And then our youth house. Our youth house was another thing, which we were on the consent order there too, and we're off it now. This year we were the best youth house in the entire state. 12 years ago we were the worst, and now we're bringing in revenue with Passaic.
Yeah, the Passaic County contract where we house their juveniles. Last year it was generated $4.5 million, and we're looking for the same in the 2014 budget.
And our hospital center, another thing that was under federal consent order, and which was for over 100 years we've had a psychiatric hospital up in Cedar Grove, and it's antiquated. It was built during the Civil War, and we built a smaller hospital center, and we got off that federal consent order, and now we're bringing in state revenue not only from other counties but from the state, and I think this year was over $13 million.
Yeah, you're correct. Roughly $13 million from not only the state of New Jersey, but Passaic and Middlesex County, where we get 100% of the revenue.
And the other thing that one of the things that you were able to teach me and stuff, when we did the refinancing deal in 2007, and we were able to structure out our debt, we also said at that particular time, you were not here, that we would only bond up to $20 million a year for infrastructure improvements, for buildings improvements, because you got to be able to maintain your building. And ever since 2007, we stood within that $20 million with all the improvement. People always question, were you able to get all these things done? And it's basically because of the relationships that we've had with the past governors, whether it be Governor McGreevey, whether it be Governor Corzine, or whether it be Governor Chris Christie, that we've been able to know where the money is and get it to offset the taxpayers' costs. Everything in our buildings that should be done will last for another 10, 15 years, but you still have to be able to maintain it. What I changed when I took over in 2003, because I was prior the president of the Freeholder Board, I was a freeholder, we would never get the budget until February, not February, to March. Sometimes it was June, July. But 11 out of the 12 years that we presented the budget, we presented by the statutory date, which was January 15th. And by doing that and preparing that way, you're able to get everybody on track. And I think that has been a very big help.
And that also is very good. And by the way, the Board of Chosen Freeholders introduced the 2014 budget last year that you presented on January 10th.
Right.
February 26th, they introduced it last night, unanimously adopted on introduction. That's all a good timetable. We're doing it within, you did it within the statutory, and the freeholders did it within
the last 3 years, we've stood within the cap. In fact, we stood under the cap. I think it comes out to an average of 1.7 in the last 3 years, which is a minimal tax increase. Listen, there's no question we've been doing a lot more, a lot less. Our next goal, and hopefully you're going to be able to make that happen for me, is with TANs. Every year, you certain times of the year, you run out of money. You got to go out and borrow money on a short-term basis and be able to pay it back. And we're hoping that this year, what?
Well, we can eliminate the tax anticipation note, commonly referred to in our industry as TANs.
Right.
That would be our goal.
That would be our goal. One of the things that I'm so proud of in the last 12 years, we used to be the highest property tax in the state of New Jersey. For the last 12 years, I think we've averaged 4th or 5th as far as our tax increase. Our minimum tax increase over 12 years has been 2.75%, which is very small compared to counties our size, which is 5 and 6%. And what I was really care about is that we kept our 3,500 employees working. Because you still got to be able to do the job. You still got to be able to provide the services and stuff. But we start our budget process when? Tell everybody. For next year.
It's midsummer. Actually, the budget packages go out to the department directors, constitutionals in early July. Asked to have them back by Labor Day. That all helps to allow you to get your budget presented to the freeholders, before January 15th in accordance with the statute. So From a financial point of view, you're positioned pretty well.
Well, we still have a lot more to do. Property taxes is still the #1 issue. We still have a lot of people that are unemployed that still need work. You know, everybody seems to think that this recession's over. Listen, for not us here in Essex County, we go from very poor to very wealthy, and the middle classes, we all know it's getting lost through this whole time. But we still got to be able to do our jobs. In the last 2.5 years, through your leadership, you have made it easier on everyone. I know you're going to find more ways to be able to cut and for us to continue to stay on that bond rating, which of course is my goal.
Hey, it's a good team. I enjoy being a part of it.
Thank you very much for coming
thank
on,
you,
Mark. I
Joe.
appreciate it. Thank you. You know, our next guest has a record of his own here in Essex County. You know, there's been 5 county exec, and under this form of government, there's no one who's served longer than Dan Salvanti as the Essex County Parks Director. And I want to welcome you to the show.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
Great seeing you.
There's no question in the last 12 years we've turned something around that has been neglected for over 25 years.
Absolutely.
And it hasn't been just by with ourselves, it's been with the public itself, the 800,000 residents, the 52 park conservancies that have worked with us, and all the corporations and foundations. But one facility that we're particularly proud of course, is the South Mountain Recreation Complex. And you know, this year, which I never thought would happen, is we actually, in New Jersey, New York was the host of the Super Bowl. So 2.5 years ago, they put together this Super Bowl committee. And we were concerned here in Essex that we wanted to be part of it. And
Correct.
we were part of it. But we did have some activities the week of Super Bowl,
Correct.
which we were very at Cody Arena.
Right at Cody Arena.
Which is 2,500 seat facility, a beautiful facility.
State of the art.
State-of-the-art facility. That's something that we're very proud of. It's part of the entire complex. But we had 3 major events that I was pretty impressed with. The Essex County Wrestling Tournament.
Yeah,
What do you
I
thought
mean,
about
this is our 4th year hosting the tournament. This year we had 23 Essex County schools participate. 21 of them were the public school, 2 of the private schools, and started out on that Friday evening and went into Saturday. And what was really unique, Joe, come Sunday morning at 10 o'clock, we were ready for skating. So it's really turned into a multi-use facility. Second chance inmates come up and they work hand in hand with us, helping us putting our floor to cover for the ice, so all these events could actually take place.
The kids and the family and the parents, when you go to the tournament, you see it. It's treated like it would be in Atlantic City for the state championship.
What's great about it, you have great parking.
Right.
You have great sight lines. You see 3 or 4 matches going on at the same time, and it's close enough where you can stop in, see your match if you wanted to leave, and come back for the finals. So it's really a rounded day for the entire family.
And then the other thing that we were very, very proud is to have the Wounded Warriors and the amputees and the 9/11 heroes and stuff. That we had that football game, which was our first.
First. Matter of fact, County Exec, as a former football player, I thought you were going to suit up for that game.
There were some problems.
There were some problems.
I was on the disabled list.
Disabled list. Yeah.
I had a hard problem getting my arm.
It was a great night. Tremendous amount of money for our vets. And I think, Joe, what really we saw that evening is how the community came out in support of it. And, you know, being a football guy and seeing some of the former guys that you rooted for come up and participate, whether they played or they mingled with the community, kids were able to get autographs and so forth. And, you know, I know right now we probably couldn't play against those vets because they're superior athletes. It was interesting how the community actually came out and supported it. And again, the key thing is the fundraiser. And the community really supported our vets.
You know what was nice about that? Next year, where's the Super Bowl?
Arizona.
And they would do the same thing in Arizona, the Wounded Warriors, and have a game there.
Right.
So we were just so fortunate here in Essex County to be able to host that game and that activity. And the people that came out was 2,500 people.
Right.
All came out and supported it.
And it was
great.
And it was that Wednesday before the Super Bowl, so it was a great build-up for the game. And again, gave us the opportunity to take our facility and put it on the map because it was a televised event.
It was televised. How about the Friday night fights? Then we had that.
Yeah.
3 major events.
In 1 week.
In 1 week.
And was handled
at
quite
Cody
well.
Arena.
At the South Mountain Recreation Complex. And again, ESPN was there. 12 bouts. 10 of those bouts were the undercard. We had 3 live bouts on ESPN2. Great crowd. Over 12 to 1,500 people were there that night.
3 major events that speaks for what we have done. And
Absolutely.
you know what's nice about that is all those also brought in amounts of
Right.
huge amounts of revenue for our facility.
Right.
I mean, this year was the first year that we brought in over $2 million at Cody Arena. So we're no question moving forward.
And of course,
doing great
as
activities.
we have talked, is it's the home for some great skating.
Oh, great skating.
Olympians.
How about the Olympians?
That just came back with gold medals, practice at our facility, and the over 1,000 to 1,200 kids that participate in the Learn to Skate program,
Right.
our youth hockey, our Daredevils hockey, our Synchronettes that go all over the world, and they really represent Essex County well.
It's a great family. Well, I want to thank you for all your work and for also your employees. They do a great job.
Great team effort.
And it is the destination place in the state of New Jersey is that complex, and I couldn't be more proud of it. Our cameras were at the Wounded Warriors event. Let's check out the excitement.
I served in Afghanistan in 2004, and I lost my left leg below the knee. This game means a lot. This game proves that the guys who are coming back with combat injuries, playing at a high athletic competition, the flag football game, proving that with any disability we can come out and compete at a high level of competition.
It's a privilege and an honor to get a chance to meet them and play with them. We passed the torch to them that day when they went forward to do what they had to do overseas as Americans to take charge. And we're very appreciative of what they've done and still are doing for us to keep our freedom to what it is today.
We've done the past 3 Super Bowls. We started out in Indianapolis a couple years ago, then last year in New Orleans, and now here in New Jersey, New York. And then the support that we get from the communities wherever we go, it's amazing.
This is an outlet for me to show others in the community and surrounding areas that life does go on after tragedy, and there's a lot of bad things that happen in life, but it's your attitude that, if you can remain positive through negative things, that's what you're going to attract in your life. And by playing in this game tonight, that allows me to show people in the audience that anything is possible with the right mindset, especially a positive mental attitude.
Joining me now is Sam Oparaki, Executive Director of the Essex County Workforce Investment Board and also manager of our Essex County One-Stop Center, which is also, it's part of our employment and training. We all know that our job skill training program and making sure people are trained properly in our workshops, we just don't do it once a year. We make sure we do it 365 days a year, and I know we have satellites offices throughout Essex County that are providing these services, and I know also we have nonprofit organizations that are also helping us and stuff.
Yeah, well, the WIB board is a board that provides oversight, for workforce in the county, and that board is appointed by you and approved by the freeholders.
Right.
We have representation from our business leaders. We have representation from the community organizations and the unions, and then basically it structures programs for the one-stop. And our career service, we provide most of that service at our 50 South Clinton facility.
How often do you meet?
We're required to meet 4 times a year.
Right.
But we have other subcommittees that do a lot of the work, and we try to meet once a month. So it's been a great experience. But for the most part, our job, we feel, is a broad spectrum of services that we provide at our career service. We do resume writing, we do job readiness, we do job searches, we do GED prep, we do ESL. We help vets, we help the reentry population, people coming from prison, we help the youth.
For us to have a job fair, and we do it often throughout the year, all right, where, we could have over 3,000 people come. And we were fortunate, the last job fair, we were able to place 200 people in permanent jobs, which was great. But it's just a small percentage of the number of people that came out that are still looking for work out there.
Yeah, but and you're right, Joe. But part of what makes us, I think, one of the models I think in the state is that we have support from yourself, because every time we've called you, you've been there. But I gotta say, we have some great dedicated staff. I mean, you can't do this job if you're not dedicated to it. You see people every day that need a lot of our help. And the partnerships that we've had with the state, I think that's a very important component. And we try to get community leaders and businesses and do all those partnerships so that we can have a team.
I know how hard everyone works to do that.
Yeah.
But you just can't do it alone. You need to have the corporation and businesses involved to take part in that, to making sure that we hire people for these positions that are available and make them available.
Before a vendor comes to participate in our job fair, we make sure that they do have open employment. And we go through a registration process with our job seekers. We register them, we go through their resumes, and we make sure that if we're matching an employee to an employer, that it's a good match and the person is actually qualified to take those jobs. So we put in considerable effort to make sure that an employer cannot come in or participate in our job fairs if they don't have open jobs. Our staff, after the job fair is over, they go back and call these employers to make sure that one, that they're satisfied with the referrals that we gave them, and two, that how many people did they hire, so that we're able to build and maintain that relationship with that employer, because that is a very, very important component of what we do. You got to make sure you maintain that relationship, that they are satisfied and we're satisfied.
The other one thing is that the state is giving money out to these large corporations to build buildings, whether it's Panasonic, whether it's the Marriott, whether it's Prudential. And every time someone gets a tax credit, they're always have to add X number of employees based on those tax credit. Do we go after that? Do we work with that?
Yes, we do, because usually when a company like a Panasonic or any of these companies that come into the county, we get, there's a notice that goes out to, all the one-stops. And then that's what I was talking about, building those relationships with, with this company. So part of the WIP's responsibility is to go after to do an outreach to say, we're here, what are your needs, what can we do for you, how do we structure programs to fit what you're looking for. So, and that's one of the reasons why we have, somebody who does a business outreach like, Al Bundy, that's his full-time job, to go out there and engage the community, engage the businesses, because I can't tell you enough how important those relationships are.
How do you work with Deborah Collins, who works with small businesses and stuff?
Deborah,
because she tries to help small businesses get business through through the county or other areas and stuff, and she's been very aggressive. Deborah's done an excellent job since she's been here. But do you work hand in hand with her?
Yes, Deborah's actually a WIP board member.
Right.
So every time we do, we kind of tap into some of the vendors that she have. And so we use that, and when we make our outreach, we send out information to them. So we work well with Deborah, and that's why she's part of the WIP board.
Well, listen, Sam, first of all, I want to thank you for being on the show. I want to thank you what you've done in the last 15 years. When people need help, we got to be there, and we got to be able to provide that help and to be able to reach them and get them through this difficult time.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be unemployed.
No, nobody
wants to be unemployed. Nobody wants to be on welfare. Everybody wants to be able to support their family and do the right thing.
Yes, you're right about it. But I got to say something, Joe. I got to thank you, because, since I've been in this position, every time we've reached out to you, you've come out and you've given us that support. And that's why, I wanted to mention that on some of what we're going to be doing this year, we're going to do another big job fair. As a matter of fact, here at Essex County College.
That's right.
It's going to take place on May 15th. And we also, in March, on March 24th, with your assistance, we're going to be hosting the clergy of Essex. Basically, we want to be able to, again, that's part of the outreach, talk to them about our programs, because most importantly, people in our community, when they need help, some of the times the first places that they go to is their churches. So we want to make sure that they can reach out to us, and we can reach as many of job seekers in Essex County as possible.
Government can only do so much. You need to have faith-based churches, which we have a very strong relationship with them out throughout here, and not only in Newark, but throughout Essex County, but also community organizations. We need everyone working together as a team.
Absolutely.
Listen, our chief responsibility, of course, is to making sure we have the budget that we could afford the things that we do, but the second most responsibility is to get these people working.
Absolutely.
And they want to be work. People don't want to be unemployed, and that's what has to be told out there. These people want our help, and that's what we got to do each and every day. So thank you very much, Sam,
thank you,
for being on the
I
show.
appreciate your help and support.
Great. Thank you. That ends this edition of Inside Essex County. I am Joe DiVincenzo, Essex County Executive. Together, we will continue putting Essex County first.